Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, convicted airport employee arrested attempting to flee country after failing to appear for sentencing on drug-related charges. Kimberly Hoyles, a 38-year-old airport employee from Patrick City, St. Andrew, was arrested at the Sangster International Airport on Thursday by members of the Firearms and the Narcotics Investigation Division while attempting to leave the country using an American passport. According to the police, Hoyles was previously charged with multiple drug-related offenses to include possession of cocaine, dealing in cocaine, attempting to export cocaine, trafficking cocaine, conspiracy to export cocaine, and the possession of criminal property. These charges were in connection with the seizure of over $2 billion worth of cocaine at the Norman Manley International Airport on December 10, 2020. He was later found guilty of the charges on May 30, 2024, and is scheduled to appear before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court for sentencing on Thursday. Hoyles, however, failed to appear in court for sentencing, resulting in a bench warrant being issued for his arrest. He was later arrested at the Sangster International Airport by FNID investigators attempting to flee the country with an American passport that had a different name than his airport employment records and the previous criminal charges. Hoyles remains in police custody pending further investigation. The Firearms and the Narcotics Investigation Division will continue to work with its local, regional, and international partners as it seeks to focus its efforts on individuals and groups that pose the greatest threat to the Jamaican state, the Jamaica Constabulary Force said. Boston Jerk Center ordered closed. Portland's Health Department has ordered the closure of internationally renowned Boston Jerk Center due to poor sanitation, unhealthy practices, and the selling of uninspected meat to customers. The facility was ordered closed on September 6 following a series of inspections carried out by officials from the Ministry of Health and Wellness in August and beyond. Health officials said that the closure of the facility is the only option available to them at this time, as it had failed to meet the minimum public health standards over a prolonged period. Chief Public Health Officer Lorenzo Hume, who was addressing the monthly sitting of the Portland Municipal Corporation meeting on Thursday, said that the situation at the Boston Jerk Center facility has worsened over a period of time and that they have been monitoring the activities at the facility in regards to food safety and sanitation. Having exhausted all the possible options, the environmental health team carried out a series of monitoring activities over the last year and before that, commented Humes. The decision was taken to advise the medical officer of health in the month of August that she should close the facilities at Boston, particularly those who operate at the Jerk Center itself. As a result, the medical officer of health on September 6 closed the facility under the public health regulations. This is not the first time that the Boston Jerk Center has been shut down by public health inspectors. In January 2016, the facility was ordered closed for similar breaches, including the cooking and the selling of uninspected meat, lack of running water, and the poor sanitation. MP fears Whitfield town turning on itself amid a surge in violence. St. Andrew South-Western Member of Parliament Dr. Angela Brownburg has denounced the recent upsurge in violence in Whitfield town as the security forces impose a curfew to restore calm. The 48-hour curfew began at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, but that did not deter criminals from engaging in a shootout in the wee hours of Thursday morning, setting houses on fire and displacing many residents. The onslaught was centered along Lower Fitzgerald Avenue in the vicinity of Waltham Park Road. Speaking with the news on Thursday, Brownburg said she was deeply concerned about what is happening on the ground and the recent upsurge in violence. We know that the curfew would have started from Wednesday night, which also would say just how brazen some of the individuals are, because at the time we are supposed to be having curfew, we have these kinds of activities taking place. Brownburg urged the police to do a deep assessment of the situation that hopefully would lead to an extension of the curfew. I think it would be needed that a curfew will continue, and certainly their police presence would be continued. I would believe also we have to get to the point where individuals in the community feel safe, where the police are able to apprehend those that are involved, and that we can reduce the tension in the community and reduce the threat and the violence in the community, Brownberg said. The MP, who said she visited the community on Wednesday, added that the residents would feel assured by a longer police presence. I think that will alleviate some fears, and the persons will feel a little bit safer Thursday night than they did Wednesday night, Brownberg said. We have persons who have been chased out of the community. We have had persons who have been shot, persons whose homes have been set on fire. What that says is that these are issues that we have to get to the bottom of, and that it is important for the police to be able to hold everyone who is involved responsible. Otherwise, we are talking about a community basically turning on itself. On Wednesday morning, gunmen shot and killed 23-year-old construction worker Markland Thompson of a 17-lane address along Fitzgerald Avenue, Kingston 13. The Hunts Bay police say that sometime after 8:30 a.m., explosions were heard in the area, and the residents later found the now deceased suffering from multiple wounds. He succumbed to his injuries at hospital. In a possible reprisal, gunmen traded bullets along Lower Fitzgerald Avenue on Thursday morning. The Jamaica Fire Brigade was also summoned to extinguish fires sent to several homes in the area. Since then, several residents have started to move out of the community. As at September 7, the St. Andrews South Police Division recorded a 19% reduction in murders since the start of the year. The division had recorded 67 murder victims, 16 fewer when compared to the corresponding period in 2023. The island-wide murder toll stood at 806 last Saturday, a 17% reduction year-on-year. Overseas actors behind the recent spike in Manchester murders, police are confident they will get the killers. Head of the Manchester Police, Deputy Superintendent of Police Kerry Duncan, says criminals overseas are the masterminds behind some of the recent murders in the South Central Parish, while other killings are linked to lottery scamming. Official figures from the police show 37 murders in Manchester up to September 7, an almost 28% increase over the 29 recorded for the same period last year. The parish has also recorded 29 shootings, 21% above last year. When we look at one in particular, that we have persons who are outside of this jurisdiction, persons who are overseas, who stay where they are and influence some things happening in our space. We saw it playing out in Midday and Fitzpatrick. DSP Duncan said at Thursday's meeting of the Manchester Municipal Corporation. Within the space of 1 week, 5 people were murdered in Manchester and 4 people injured in shooting incidents. DSP Duncan said interpersonal conflicts were behind some of the incidents. Christiana is separate and apart from what is happening in central Manchester. Persons who are off our shores are influencing things in our space, but it is on an interpersonal level, he explained. One of the things that we find that is also impacting what we are doing is the lottery scamming activities. We find that in recent times, some of our known scammers are being targeted by some of these persons, shaking them down, and in the event that they don't honor the request, they are injured or in some instances killed. We saw it also spill over in the Christiana space, where we had about 3 incidents of murders in recent times, and we also know that, based on what is happening up in that space, we have persons who operate in southern Trelawney who come over into our parish and perpetrate some of these offences, added DSP Duncan, even as he argued that Manchester is not being overrun by criminals. Most of the incidents are interpersonal. Persons know with whom they have their conflicts. We are just saying that it would be good if persons could find humane ways to treat with their conflicts, he said. It is not that I want us to leave here thinking that Manchester is being overrun by crime, added DSP Duncan. He said strategies including tough security measures and the deployment of specialized teams have resulted in at least 2 suspects being arrested and others identified. We have engaged our lottery scamming task force. We have in our space members from specialized operations. We also have our area fugitive operation team, and all these persons have been activated, particularly in the Knockpatrick area. We have been instituting curfews behind the curfews in that space, he said. Even now, some persons are resisting because we know what is happening over there. And when we decided that we are going to shut down all bars and the shops because we realize that when we have these persons gathering is where persons go to perpetrate their offenses, we are getting resistance from the communities that we can't lock down their shop, added the police divisional head. He said the police have cleared up 80% of the murders committed in Manchester. We are not daunted, we have to mandate, and I assure you that we are pulling out all the stops to ensure that whatever is happening in Manchester at this time is cauterized in very short order. We have identified a lot of the key players locally and they are being targeted. As a matter of fact, the last murder we had over in Green Street, we have persons in custody, and I am confident that the persons will be charged for those offenses and other offenses in terms of murders. When we have the occurrences of murders, our detectives in Manchester are what I would call top class. We are arresting persons as the offenses are committed, added DSP Duncan. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.